What are inflatable life jackets?
They are life vests or belts that rely on inflatable chambers to provide buoyancy. They come in a variety of U.S. Coast Guard-defined performance types based on amount of buoyancy, in-water performance, and type of inflation mechanism. When uninflated, they are typically less cumbersome than their inherently buoyant counterparts.
What are the different types of inflators?
Manual automatic and manual only. Manual automatics use a water-soluble capsule, bobbin, or hydrostatic release mechanism to pierce a carbon dioxide cylinder and release its gas when submerged in water. They should inflate even if the wearer is unconscious. Manual onlys rely on a lanyard that toggles the inflation mechanism to pierce the CO2 cylinder. Wearers can swim in them without causing them to inflate, making the manual type suitable for human-propelled sports where water entry is a given, but hand and arm mobility are required for activation. All inflatables contain a backup oral inflation tube, also used for deflation. If you cannot orally inflate the life jacket without assistance, which would be necessary if your inflation mechanism failed, choose an inherently buoyant life jacket.
What are the advantages of inflatable life jackets?
They are comfortable, offer high visibility when inflated, and turn and keep most wearers face up, including unconscious persons. In addition to superior in-water performance, they offer greater freedom of movement. Most popular is the sleek, lightweight suspender style. Thanks to their relative slimness, they are also easier to store.
What are their disadvantages?
Some require two-stage donning, and none are suitable for persons who cannot tread water and will be unable to orally inflate the life jacket if needed. Manual automatics are not appropriate for activities that involve frequent water entry, and neither type are approved for personal watercraft or towed water sports. They also require frequent inspection and maintenance. Instances of fatal accidents where inflatable life jackets failed to properly inflate have been documented. Once activated, they must be rearmed with a new activation device and cylinder, and some inflators are not easily rearmed without special tools and know-how.
What are prescribed uses of inflatable life jackets?
Both manual automatics and manual-only types are for use by persons at least 16 years old and are not suitable for poor or non-swimmers. They must be worn on the outside of all clothing to prevent serious rib injury upon automatic inflation or to allow access to the lanyard or inflatable tube. For recreational cruising aboard power and sailboats, their unobtrusive designs let arms move without constriction. The manual-only types may be preferable for kayaking, canoeing, or stand-up paddleboarding.
What are prohibitions against their use?
Inflatable life jackets do not meet carriage requirements when worn by persons under 16, should not be used by persons weighing less than 80 pounds, nor by anyone who is a weak or non-swimmer. They are not approved or recommended for personal watercraft or high-intensity water sports like racing, water skiing, tubing, wakeboarding, whitewater rafting, or sailboarding.
Should inflatable life jackets be inspected or tested?
Yes, inflatables should be visually inspected each time before they are donned to ensure that they are properly armed. At least bi-monthly, fill the chamber with dry air and leave it inflated overnight at a constant temperature to check for loss of pressure. Deflate by turning the cap upside down and pressing its top to open the one-way valve. Gently squeeze or use a shop vac to expel the air, being careful not to wring or twist the life jacket. Then, repack it properly. Store in a cool, dry place.
What should be done prior to getting underway?
Boat owner-operators must ensure serviceability of carried life jackets. If there's a service indicator, make sure it's green. If it's red, the mechanism has been fired or is improperly fitted, and the jacket will not work. Check that auto-inflating components are armed and unexpired. Make sure the pull tab lanyard is accessible and unlikely to catch when being worn. Check that the CO2 cylinder is firmly secured. Examine it for rust or corrosion, and if you remove it, be sure to carefully replace it without over-tightening. Check the fabric for visible signs of damage by ensuring there are no rips, tears, or holes. Seams are securely sewn, and straps and hardware still strong.
What should be done with an inflatable life jacket at the end of the day on the water?
If it's equipped with automatic inflation, remove the bobbin and CO2 cartridge before washing to avoid accidental inflation. If it's been exposed to salt water, rinse thoroughly in fresh water. To clean the outer shell, hand wash with warm, soapy water. Hang it up to dry thoroughly before storing in a cool, dry place. Remember to replace the bobbin and CO2 cartridge once the life jacket is thoroughly dry. The bobbin can only be inserted one way, and the cartridge simply screws in.
What if the inflatable life jacket has been deployed?
If you use your inflatable life jacket, you will need to replace the CO2 cylinder and activation device, and in some cases the entire inflator mechanism. For automatics, the bobbins should be replaced in accordance with the manufacturer's recommendations. You should also have your life jacket serviced each time it's deployed and checked for any damage that may have occurred during the incident.
How do inflatables otherwise need to be serviced and maintained?
Manufacturers have different maintenance instructions which typically include annual servicing. Knowing and following these directions are critical to ensure the bladder, inflation mechanism, and CO2 cylinder are in good working order. Inspect the buoyancy chamber and inflation system at least every 2 months. Make sure the cartridge is screwed in firmly so as to allow the firing pin to pierce it. Check all components for dirt and corrosion, the oral inflation valve for blockage and tears, and all fastening mechanisms for damage. Replace the bobbin on an automatic model every 12 months unless otherwise specified by the manufacturer, and the CO2 cartridge every 1 to 3 years or as indicated by weight.
To understand the details of a specific life jacket, read its label and owner's manual instructions on how to wear, operate, and look after it. Consult your dealer or retailer if needed. Periodically check the Coast Guard Boating Safety Division's website at uscgboating.org for recalls and the latest information.
With the many different life jackets available, there's certainly one that's perfectly suited for you, given the type of boating you'll be doing, your comfort level on the water, and your ability to swim. Whatever you decide, be sure to wear your life jacket. It can only save your life if you do.